What are the 5 elements every plan needs? It's a question we get a lot. We work with so many industries here at AchieveIt that it's really interesting to see. Yes, healthcare is very different than somebody in the public sector or a nonprofit in terms of the content of their plan. But as far as the elements needed to make a plan ready to be executed, that actually there is very little difference between industry. And over the years, we've identified 5 elements that every plan should have in order for your plan to have the best chance for success. And those 5 include quantitative outcomes, ownership, due dates, cadence of accountability, and alignment. Basically, think of these 5 as a letter grade. So let's say you had all the 5 items in your plan that I just mentioned, you would give yourself an A. If you don't have any of the 5, then you would give yourself an F and you would scale accordingly. So using that guide, use my conversation here to go scan your plan and actually ask yourself, do I have those 5 things? And if not, don't worry, we can absolutely help. The good news is these 5 are extremely important and they're not that hard to add in with the right expertise. So first and foremost, you have to have quantitative outcomes in your plan. The question typically is how much of my plan needs to be tracking something quantitative. In my experience, anything about 20 to 25% of your plan is good. The reason why you want to have quantitative outcomes is pretty obvious, but the goal is that you want to actually know if you were successful or not. You don't want to confuse activity with outcomes. Just because a lot got done in a year, it doesn't always translate to business outcomes that you're looking to accomplish. And the only way you can know if those things have been accomplished is by having them in your plan. So think to yourself, do I have a lot of words like increase, decrease, or maintain in my plan in front of something? If the answer is yes, then those items are quantitative because they're tracking a dollar, percentage, or number. If you see words like implement, deploy, roll out, those are great words, but those are more projects or initiatives. Those should be tied to quantitative outcomes. If we do these 3 projects, we hope to see this outcome on the back end. So ask yourself, do you have quantitative outcomes? The next thing is your plan has to have a single owner for every item in it. In the past, and even as recent as yesterday, I'll see a plan and there'll be 3 people assigned as responsible. Not to say that 3 people aren't working on it, but one person has to be responsible. And if they're not, it's going to create issues with reporting and also just overall accountability. So ask yourself, who's closest to the work and put that one person's name there. You'll see some great things happen to your plan. Due dates. Sounds very simple. We got to have due dates. Due dates are great. But most of the time when I see due dates in a plan, they are at the end of the year, whatever your year is, fiscal or calendar. Everything's going to cluster at the end. Or there's one quarter, Q3 is a big one. Everything's going to be done then. If everything's due at the same time, nothing's going to get done, or things might get done, but there's really no sense of urgency because if everything has the same due date, it's as if nothing has a due date. So try to align your items so that there's due dates spread throughout the year so that you tap into that really innate desire we have to meet deadlines and not procrastinate. The next thing is, do you have a cadence of accountability in your plan? How often are you updating your items? And most of the time I'm hearing not often, twice a year, if I'm really lucky, quarterly. But for the most part, you should be looking for a monthly update for your strategic plan. That's a fantastic way to get a pulse check on what's happening and more importantly, spot issues before they become bigger. So if you're not doing that now, monthly is not an insurmountable goal with the right help. And last but not least, alignment. How are you structuring your plan so that people understand what they're working on and why they're working on it? If your strategic plan has 10 levels in it, that's a good example of probably not being aligned. If there isn't a true kind of parent-child relationship in your plan, that's also a great way to notice that it's not aligned. And alignment really comes down to, do I understand why I'm working on something? If so, there's a 73% chance of that work getting done. If I have no understanding of why I'm working on something, there's a 42% chance of that work getting done. And that's according to the Project Management Institute. So it is absolutely critical that you have good alignment in your plan. It's time well spent. And once again, if you need help, we're here for you. We know every type of planning methodology, the pros and cons. We'll give you the options and you can pick which one makes the most sense. So go scan your plan, check out those 5 elements. If you have them all, great, you have an A. If you're missing a bunch, don't worry, we can help.